it is impossible to achieve the aim without suffering.
And I told Robert, we have this idea to put together a group to play Exposure Live.
That led to where we are today in New York, rehearsing for the first time yesterday all of this material from Exposure with the goodwill and hope to bring our version of this music into the world.
A few weeks ago, we shared an interview with Steve Ball and Pat Mastelotto about the famous Robert Fripp album Exposure being performed for the first time live by a band in person. And we had Steve Ball and Pat Mastelotto on, and we have Steve back with us today, along with a couple of other contributors in this band, members and people who are carrying big, heavy boulders. So, Steve, would you like to introduce who else we have on the call today?
Absolutely. Anthony, thanks for having us back. I would like to introduce some heavy hitters and core members, and I would even say founders of this project. Fernando Kabusacki is here from Buenos Aires, and Terre Roche is here from, I think you're back in New York by now, Terry, is that true? Yeah, from New York City. And so I'll just mention that Terry and Fernie kind of initiated the idea of this project maybe a year ago, and we're all here because really Fernie had the insight to make this happen and reached out, and Terry said, that sounds like a fascinating idea. And so here we are.
And for people who might have been following the channel for a while, you might have heard Fernando Kabusacki's name come up in multiple contexts. From my trip to Buenos Aires, he opened up for Stickmen, and I filmed him as well. But Steve has done a bunch of work with Fernando in the Robert Fripp Guitar Circle / Guitarcraft and other projects. Steve, you want to just cue that up before doing a reminder
Sure.
of Terry's contribution to Exposure?
Sure. Fernie and I have been collaborating around the world for 30 years. He showed up at Red Lion House in the mid-'80s with a guitar in hand and came to Guitarcraft out of necessity. And we've been in about 14 bands together, including the League of Crafty Guitarists, Las Gauchos Alemanes, Electric Gauchos, the Symphony of Crafty Guitarists, the Orchestra of Crafty Guitarists, and now I probably missed a few others, but Exposure is our latest collaboration.
And Terry, please share. Terry did original vocals on the Exposure record all those years ago.
That's right. And I'll be right back. I have a prop. Excuse me.
Excellent.
I've got one too. Terry is prolific. And this is her latest work.
Is that a book
Here
or
she
a
comes with the
vinyl?
prop. Both.
We
Well,
have-
this is a book, but it is. Oh, you have the same one.
The same prop.
Yes. All right.
Because that was really the beginning of my part of the Exposure. So anyway, first of all, to answer Anthony's question, this is an album. And so I wanted to make an album that led with the lyrics, rather than, like, usually you have the lyrics are very small, they're on the back of something. So each page has lyrics to a song, and then I sort of put little drawings around it, and the QR code is where you hear the song. So you read it first, and then you might get curious, like, I wonder what this sounds like, and then you can go right there and listen to it. So this was an idea that actually, my friend Michael Tannen came up with the QR code idea. But so what happened was I made this record last September on the island of St. John at the only studio that's there, which is in someone's house. And I was not thinking to make a record that I was going to release. I simply realized that I had written about 13 songs in the last several years, and I just wanted to hear them. I wanted to go in. So I went in to Coral Star Studios, and the engineer and owner of the studio, Alan Clapp, I said to him, Alan, I just want to go from one song to the next. I don't want to stop and redo anything. I just want to get all these down. And then I'm going to just go home and listen to them. So when I went home and listened to them, I really liked it as an album. So it reminded me of working with Fripp in 1979. And this is all, by the way, leading to why I wound up on Exposure. Fripp was producing the first Roaches album, and we were in the studio working on that album, and he was at the same time working on Exposure. So he had Daryl Hall singing most of the songs on Exposure, but Daryl's company would not allow him. They said, well, people are going to think this is a Daryl Hall record, so you have to change up the singing. So Fripp asked me to sing 3 of the songs on the record, and so I did. That's how I wound up on Exposure. So getting back to now, because the experience of doing this reminded me of working with Robert, because of just not, he had that whole no pussyfooting approach, don't go back and punch things in. No, don't put something else in. Just go in and do it. So I hadn't spoken to Robert in 45 years. And I got it in my head. I thought I'm gonna try to track Robert down and send this to him. So I did. I found him on Facebook. And at first I said, hi, Robert, it's Terry. And he was a little, like maybe he didn't know if it was me. So I had to say something to make him realize that, yes, it's me. So he wrote back and he said, okay, so now that we've established that you're you and I'm me, what do you want? So I sent him the album. And then he liked it a lot. He wrote back, he commented on the songs. And because I said, this really reminded me of working with you in the way we just went through and didn't sort of hesitate and second guess what we were doing. So about a month later, he writes to me and says, there's a group of people that would like to talk to me about the Exposure. They're doing a project with the Exposure record. And so, Fernando, this is where you could take over from here, because I said, yes, I'm happy to meet with Fernando. I think it was your idea, right, Fernando?
Yes, Steve, Don Box, and myself, we were together in a course in, I think it was October, a year before of that. And Don had made all these transcriptions of all the Exposure songs. We were playing some of that together with Don and Steve. So we said, it would be great to do this live. So 1 year ago, April 2024, we were in Lunlunta, Mendoza in Argentina with Robert, and I told Robert of this idea. We had this idea, we would love to bring Exposure live into the world, to play the album live. And it was then what Robert said, well, this is an incredible coincidence, because I just got in touch with Terry, and she should be the singer for this project. She's the original one. She has to do it. And he said, like, coincidentally, We were in touch last month or something like this, after 45 years. So then, yeah, it's like that. He put us in touch. He said Terry should be the singer, and Terry said yes. So we are here, and then we also asked Robert, who do you think should be the drummer? And Robert said, it's either Pat Mastelotto or Jerry Marotta. So here we are with Pat Mastelotto on board. So that's kind of the beginning, but the beginning probably goes back to 1978, something.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the present and the future, because you are hitting the road very soon to start performing. Tell us what's been going on and what are the plans for the coming weeks.
Yes, we finally we talked with Terry and with Pat, and we got together last September. We did some rehearsals, and they went really well. We were really very good band together. So we decided to take it further. So we rehearsed last April in Pat Mastelotto's place in Austin, Texas, and it went really well. So now we decided to have one concert in New York. It went really well. So and so on. So after that, it was two concerts because the first one was sold out, and then we have 7 shows coming up in the in the New York area coming up next April.
In for the 12 days, 11 days.
Yes. Yes,
Right after Terry's birthday.
that's right.
Happy birthday, Terry.
Thank you.
And
Well, you know oh, I'm sorry.
it's okay, go for it.
I was going to say, so what happened was when they asked me to do this, you know, so my birthday, I'm going to be 72 years old. And when I did this album, I was 26. So my first thought was, you know, I don't have the same voice I had when I was 26. So I really didn't want to like make everyone come to New York, you know, for nothing. So Gary, my partner, he and we were down on St. John, and he helped me to work with 2 of the songs in order to get it into like where my range could handle the song. And then we made a very rough recording of it into this computer, because I thought, you know, these guys might hear this and go, oh, geez, you know, you don't sound the same as you used to. So, and so I sent it off, and the next thing you know, Gary got drafted into the band.
You have to be careful around us.
Yes.
Tell that to your dad also, Anthony.
Well, yeah, my dad is he's very, very excited at the idea of seeing the album live, and he would love to contribute some Peter Hamill vocals. You know, if you guys are available for some live performances. My dad has been singing with this band, well, his band, for 50 years or something. So, yes, we'll see if he gets roped in as well.
All right.
He's in the Danbury, Connecticut area, so not too far from the city.
Okay. We are hoping to have guests. Can I put a quick plug in also for your Hammond song release with Rachel? Also,
Sure.
Terry, I'll just hype something. Terry sent something to me probably 4 or 5 months ago that just felt like a life-affirming musical moment. And she had been collaborating with Rachel Hayden of the Hayden Triplets, Charlie Hayden, one of Charlie's daughters. I'd already done a little bit of work with Petra a few years ago, but it just made the hair on the back of my neck stand up when I heard Terry and Rachel and the band Simon and the Astronauts do a version of Hammond song with Terry singing and Rachel singing, and just a beautiful new alive version of Hammond song. Still makes me have chills. So there's kind of a new life to Hammond song that is in the world. In fact, we'll be selling a version of that on the upcoming tour on a mixtape that we've created. featuring some of the more recent work of the band members. But there's kind of some new life, and I think between the timing of Terry getting in touch with Robert and Fernie kind of having this insight of doing exposure, there's so many things that have been lining up over the past year that this just feels inevitable and necessary. And I can't wait for the world to hear that version of Hammond Song.
Yeah, actually, Steve, you played me a short segment when you and I went to see Beat in Vegas. You
Oh,
played
yeah.
me a short segment of Terry belting it out, either during the New York show or during a rehearsal. And Terry, I gotta say, I know you were saying your range has changed and does this fit my voice? I was just blown away by what I heard, and it seemed like audiences were as well.
Well, thank you. That's very encouraging, you know. It's good to be encouraged.
Absolutely. I think this band is going to not only receive encouragement, but encourage others to not only listen to this great album, but to take on sort of the torch of great music and put it on the road, or at least be playing it out live in the world beyond a record player. So I'm very
Yeah.
excited about this project. You're right now. All of your shows are planned for the Northeast, right?
Yeah. We have 7 dates starting in New York City, 2 nights at City Winery in New York. And then we're heading up to upstate New York. There's another city winery in something called the Hudson Valley.
Yep.
We're also playing a place that also feels emotionally connected to all of this work called Daryl's House, which is Daryl Hall's rock club in Pawling, New York. And we are hoping that Daryl might show up. I've been in touch with his manager a couple times, and I'm quietly keeping the door open to invite him to either New York or Philadelphia, where I think he also has some roots. We also then go up to Boston City Winery. We're playing an old favorite club of mine called the Iron Horse in Northampton, Massachusetts, and then we pop back down to City Winery, Philadelphia. So it's 7 dates in about 10 or 11 days. And we hope this is the beginning of, at least according to our fans, a long tour that will take us to South America, maybe Japan, Europe, and Phoenix, or maybe Sedona, maybe someplace close to you, Anthony.
Yeah, I was planning on flying out for one of the shows, and then I received
Oh no!
a jury
Speaking of
summons
props,
for the for the first week of April, or it's next week, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, I do want to go see this show, and at the very least, if you guys come out west, I will absolutely be filming and hopefully participating as an audience member and enjoying
least.
this show. Yeah. All right. So for people who want to learn more and get to know the plans, Steve, where do they go? What do they do?
We have a new primitive website built by hand at exposure.band, exposure.band, and we have tour dates and links to where you can buy tickets and a little background and a press kit. We'll also start to post some videos there, as well as other material we've developing, and we'll be selling some merch on the tour. We placed a big order for a wide variety of kind of crazy 2025 energy merch that includes t-shirts and hoodies and even a tote bag and little beanies. So our hope is to promote the Exposure album, the original album, as well as Robert's. I've got a prop that I could show you. Robert's box set is somewhere here with like 1,000 discs in it, with every version of Terry's takes of the repertoire. But I highly encourage anyone who's interested in this work, go check out exposure.band. And when you get and see the mixtape CD, there are 16 amazing tracks by the musicians in the band that I encourage you also to go check out, because there's a huge, deep, rich, amazing catalog from each of these musicians that is worth diving into.
One
Go,
more
Terry.
thing we must mention, because
Yes.
this is unusual in a band. We have a tarot reader in the band, Deb Masalato, and she, hold on, one more prop.
Oh.
she wrote
Wow.
the
Tarot primer.
the Tarot primer, and I've been using it every day since we met back in September. It's really well done. I love her book, but she, picks a card for the day of the practice, and it's cool.
It's often right on, just like an oblique strategy. It often feels like she's reached into the like deep recess of your heart or your soul or the back of your brain and pulled out exactly the right words at the right time.
Yes, yes.
I don't
I
want
was
to.
not happy. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I don't want to leave this interview without acknowledging something about Fernando that he doesn't really talk about publicly, but it's one of my favorite stories. Fernando, do you remember telling me about you learning fracture and why I'm lucky?
Yes, because you said something like it took me 22 years to learn fracture. And I said, you're lucky it took me 35.
Yeah. Way
So
more efficient.
congratulations. Yes.
Well done, Anthony.
Yeah, so
Very good.
I
still
use that
struggling.
I use that story pretty often because I think, Fernando, you are a player that is after the same kind of hard work, determination, discipline, long-term goals, and you're not going to be stopped. You're unstoppable. And those things, you don't have to be a great guitar player, even though you are. You just have to have those other characteristics and qualities. And I think there's a lot when people think about the album Discipline, or when it comes up, I see in the comments pretty frequently, "It is impossible to achieve the aim without suffering," which is a John Bennett quote. And that's basically you and other members of the Guitar Craft, Guitar Circle, you embody that. And so I think, having seen you perform live in a couple of different contexts, in person and on video, you are that kind of a player, and I'm excited to see what you bring to this exposure project as well.
Thank you. It's good suffering. It's good suffering, like a positive suffering.
That's right.
And the aim, the goal is really so beautiful and amazing. Like, this music really deserves and needs us to be there. So let's keep going.
And some of these songs are no joke on the guitar. There are some real challenging pieces.
Yes, very, very challenging, but it's also fun. It's also fun.
Yeah.
It's
Fun, but also I think the songs are very timely right now, more so than when I first sang on it years ago. It seems like the energy of these songs for now, like I certainly am enjoying screaming.
Yes. And we encourage our audience to scream along during exposure. Or if you're feeling introverted, you can just learn to spell EXPOS,
Yes.
etc. Anthony, I have one more quick connection to make. I had coffee this morning with Alex Anthony Fide, and I hadn't seen him for a while, but he says hello to everyone. Speaking of people who can actually play fracture, he sends his goodwill and best wishes, and he's part of our long-term community too. And I just want to put in a good word for him up here in Seattle, and I hope you get a chance to reconnect with him as well. But we're all suffering in our own ways. Let's bring this music to the world and share the suffering with a big fat smile. And we encourage you to come see us, sing along, and invite us if you can't make the East Coast tour. The thing that will keep this going is the enthusiasm and the support from our global audience. So appreciate your help with making those connections, Anthony.
No problem. All right. Thank you so much, Steve, Terry, Fernie. Great to see you. Best wishes for all of you as you travel, go on the road with this music. And may you encounter the most enthusiastic and supportive audiences, free of trolls, free of hecklers. And just may every show sell out. Go in peace.
Awesome. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.